The Yuba County Five is one of the most disturbing and mysterious unsolved cases in American history. Often referred to as the American Dyatlov Pass, this case involves the disappearance and deaths of 5 men from Yuba City, California in 1978. Despite decades of investigation, speculation, and theories, no one truly knows what happened to them that night, or why they ended up in the snow-covered wilderness miles away from home. The deeper you look into this case, the stranger it becomes, filled with eerie coincidences, unsettling discoveries, and lingering questions that still haunt investigators to this day. Hello again, and welcome back to The Sky Opened. If you like what you see here and want to hear more lesser-known true crime cases, please subscribe to the channel. Also, comment down below what you thought about this case and leave a like. Thank you, and let's return to the video. The 5 men: Jack Madruga, 30, Bill Sterling, 29, Jack Hewitt, 24, Ted Wire, 32, and Gary Mathias, 25, were all described as having mild intellectual disabilities and psychiatric conditions. However, they were functional in everyday life and capable of doing things on their own. Though their families were highly protective of them, they had formed a tight-knit friendship, bonding over their shared love for sports, particularly basketball. The group was set to participate in a Special Olympics-sponsored basketball tournament in Sacramento on February 25, 1978. This tournament was incredibly important to them, and winning it would mean a free trip to Los Angeles, a trip they had talked about for weeks. Because of their excitement and meticulous planning, it is highly unlikely that they intentionally disappeared. They had already laid out their game uniforms and prepared their belongings the night before. Each of them was looking forward to the event, which makes what happened next all the more baffling. On the evening of February 24th, 1978, the 5 friends drove from Yuba City to Chico, a journey of about 50 miles, to watch a college basketball game at California State University, Chico. The game ended around 10 p.m., and afterward, they stopped at Bear's Market, a convenience store near the university. They bought a Hostess pie, candy bars, milk, and soda, simple snacks that further confirmed that they were expecting to head home, not disappear. However, after leaving the store, they were never seen alive again. 4 days later, on February 28, 1978, a forest ranger discovered their abandoned car deep in the Plumas National Forest, 70 miles away from Chico and completely off course from their expected route home. The abandoned vehicle, a 1969 Mercury Montego, belonged to Jack Madruga. The car was found in good condition, with a quarter tank of gas, no signs of an accident, and no apparent damage. Despite the rugged terrain, the undercarriage of the car was completely undamaged, indicating that whoever drove it was careful and knew what they were doing. This is strange because Jack Madruga was extremely protective of his car, and, according to his family, he would never drive it on mountain roads, especially in snowy conditions. Even weirder, the car was not stuck in the snow. The police later determined that it could have easily been restarted and driven away. Yet, it had been abandoned, and the keys were missing. Adding to the mystery, the police found no sign of struggle. The doors were closed, and there was no blood or evidence of violence. But what was even more puzzling was that there were no tracks leading away from the car, as if the 5 men had simply vanished into thin air. Shortly after the car was found, a local man named Joseph Shones came forward with a chilling story. On the same night that the 5 men disappeared, Shones was driving in the same area when his car got stuck in the snow. While attempting to free it, he suffered a mild heart attack, forcing him to stay inside his car to rest. While waiting for help, he claimed to have seen a group of people, along with a woman holding a baby, walking near his car. Desperate, Shoney's called out for help, but as soon as he did, the figures suddenly turned off their flashlights and went silent. Shones was confused, but assumed it was just a hallucination due to his condition. However, he later saw flashlight beams moving around in the distance throughout the night. Was this the Yuba County Five? Or was there someone else with them that night? If so, who was the mysterious woman and baby? And why did they ignore his cries for help? The bizarre discovery of the bodies, June 1978. Due to heavy snowfall, the search for the 5 men was incredibly difficult, and their bodies were not discovered until June 4th, 1978, when the snow finally melted. About 19 miles from the car, searchers found a Forest Service trailer, and inside, they made a horrifying discovery: the emaciated body of Ted Wire. Ted had lost between 80 and 100 pounds and had severe frostbite on his feet. Strangely, he was wrapped in multiple layers of sheets, and it appeared that he had survived for months before finally dying of starvation and exposure. The trailer had plenty of supplies. There was enough canned food to last 5 men an entire year, yet most of it had not been touched. Even more disturbing, the trailer had a propane tank that could have provided heat, but it was never turned on. If Ted had been alive for weeks or months, why didn't he eat the food? Why didn't he light a fire for warmth? Nearby, searchers found 3 more bodies. Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling were found 11 miles away from the car, their remains partially eaten by animals. Jack Hewitt's skull was found further into the forest, with his bones scattered nearby, but one body was never found. Gary Mathias was missing. Only his shoes were discovered inside the trailer, suggesting that he left barefoot in the snow. Where did he go? Did he leave to get help? Or did something happen to him? Theories. What really happened? There are many theories about what happened to the Yuba County Five, but no explanation fully answers all the questions. They got lost and panicked. Some believe that the men simply took a wrong turn after leaving Chico and ended up in the mountains. However, this doesn't explain why they abandoned a perfectly functional car instead of turning back. They were chased. The Shone's sighting of the mysterious figures with flashlights turning them off when he called for help suggests that they might have been running from someone. But if they were in danger, why didn't they call for help from the safety of the trailer? Gary Mathias snapped. Gary Mathias had schizophrenia and a history of violent outbursts when off his medication. Some believe he may have had an episode, led the group into the mountains, and abandoned them. But if that's true, what happened to him? A third party was involved. Did the group stumble upon something they weren't supposed to see? Were they forced up the mountain by someone? Could the woman and baby from the Shone's sighting have been real? A paranormal or UFO connection? There are many UFO sightings in the Plumas National Forest, and some people believe that the case is connected to supernatural forces. The fact that the case is so similar to Dyatlov Pass, where a group of hikers mysteriously died under unexplained conditions, only adds to the intrigue. Final thoughts. To this day, no one truly knows what happened to the Yuba County Five. The mystery of Gary Mathias's disappearance remains unsolved, and the bizarre details of the case only make it more unsettling. So, what do you think happened? Were they simply lost, or was something far more sinister at play? Thanks for watching. If you liked what you watched here, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, drop a like, and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.